Good afternoon and welcome, YouTube friends. There's no place like your home, and especially on a beautiful day like today. So I did a video earlier and my son listened to it, and I appreciate the help that both of my sons are trying to give me with content and technology and all the bells and whistles. So I'm going to try something a little bit different today once it's all finished and I go to the editing. So I do hope that it works well. I want to talk to you today about there is no place like your home, and I just love my little porch. Let me find a spot for this coffee and just show you a few things. So I'm sitting here on my little settee, which I had bought. I had a gift card and someone had given me one from Lowe's, and so I put it toward this little settee. But if you can see my cushion here, this is actually a damask tablecloth that I got at the Goodwill, and on the underneath side you can see the fabric is still there. I just cover it. I change the covers every season. So right now we're in fall and I have a nice fall look here. I got a pillow, treated myself to a pillow at Walmart. There you have that as well. So, but if you look up too, you can see my valance that I made out of the same tablecloth. And I think it was a nice rectangular one. I got a valance, I got this settee cushion, and then I got two seat cushions. I mean a back and a seat cushion for my chair on the other side. So I've said about technology too, like you can't, I can't flip the camera screen to show you the other side and then come back to this side. So it has to stay, you know, in one direction. So I'll just stick with that. Anyway, I hope you're having a good day. I've got a lot of little projects going on as usual, and to me that's my fun. That's my fun. Coming up with ways to use things that I thrift or get from a curb alert, or happen to be fortunate enough to get on a free site. So I've got different avenues of having gotten my home put together, and that feels really good to me to do that. So sometimes I share my story and then I take it down because I think it's a bit much, and then I think I should tell people my story. People should know my story. So, you know, if you've experienced anything like that, or you're in the middle of it, or you're on the other end yourself, you know, or you know, maybe it's going to hit, it hasn't hit yet, that just to know that there are many of us out here who have experienced some really challenging times, and some days it's just amazing that I have gotten through, that I did come out on the other side. So I mainly speak to older women, but anybody that wants to listen certainly can. I'm 67, and at age 55, I literally had the carpet pulled out from under me and my children, and they were at the time 11 going on to 12, 16 going into 17. So as a mother, you can only imagine what that felt like. And then I had to also keep myself together in order to be there for them and, you know, get pulled up. So I would just like to encourage you that no matter how down you think you might be or how low you've gone, whether of your own doing or circumstances, that there really is a way. And I have to say that in all of the things that have happened, that God really was in my life, had his hand on my life, still does. And you know, I can tell you, you know, that I got a house, I got a car, I got a job, and basically things have just gone upward since that time. You know, back in 2012, it's now 2025, so 13 years ago. And if somebody had shown me this moment 13 years ago, I would have never believed it. I would have thought, how in the world am I going, how would that happen? I couldn't even imagine how it could happen, but it does, and it will, and it can. But you know, you have to be true to yourself. You have to stick to yourself, or find yourself, you know, things about yourself that you didn't realize that you had. And I will say that my whole life has really been quite a ride, and at times, you know, bad things happening or the wrong things happening were of my doing because of my perception on things from my upbringing, and the trajectory of that led me to certain things. But I thank God in this time that each thing that happened, and I can look back with chagrin, regret, and even despair, and just anguish about choices I made, or things I did, or the things that I said. But they have all gotten me to this moment. And in this moment, I'm extremely grateful that I feel that the light has gone on, so to speak, that I really get it. And I'm just very grateful for that, because many people will go to their grave, you know, wondering what happened, or not knowing that they really could find another way. And God will always meet you where you are. I came to see that, and I'm grateful for the support and help of a phone call, a gift card, whatever it took to get me through that day, that moment, to get me to this moment. I'll always be grateful. And with life, you know, people are in your life for a season. Not everybody's going to be there the whole time, but you know, to those people that did help me along the way, I am truly grateful and thankful, and wish you well. I know I'm doing well, and I got a text from a friend the other day, and we're trying to get together, and I just didn't, you know, I don't know how we're going to do it. And she said, oh, I see your posts, and she said, I see you're thriving, and she went on to say a few things to me, and I thought, thriving, is that a word or what? To be thriving as a human being. I don't have a lot, I mean, but I do when I look at the whole perspective of the world, of homeless people, and you know, people that never even got a chance. And you know, I look at from that point of view, to billionaires, now possibly trillionaires. And I am rich. I am rich in my 900-foot square home. I am rich with all of my thrifted furnishings and fabrics, and my 6 rescue cats. And when I see my grown sons, and they're grown men, there was a time when I just didn't think any of us was going to make it. And they are thriving in their own way. They're thriving. And that does my heart as a mother so good. So good. And life's not perfect. I mean, I can't sit here and say everything is perfect. You know, I still strive to be able to have more money saved. I'm looking ahead. You know, how long will I be working? How long will I be able to work? I still have dreams that I want to achieve and fulfill. I have, you know, just different things. I still have responsibilities. I have a mortgage to continue to pay. I now have a car payment again, because my other car just gave up the ghost, so I had to do something. But in all of this, and I'm really not a religious person, but I know that God has carried me, and I know that He will meet you where you are, and all we have to do is ask. I do know that one Bible verse, you know, ask and it shall be given. And that is our part. That is our work, is to ask and to take action, to take the action, whatever it may be. I have things that I am just mortified by in thinking, and that this was how I had to do it. I took wrong action. I didn't take calculated risks or smart risks. I did stupid stuff, really stupid stuff. But it finally got me here, and I truly believe that this is the person, I am the person that I was in my earliest memories, when life was really bad, when we were poor, when there were 4 of us sleeping in a 1-bedroom home, and there was a hose in the basement to shower with, and there was no food, and my mother was on welfare. But I remember just the impetus that I had for myself, the joy of life, going after things, whatever it may be, getting some food somehow because I was hungry, you know, getting self-care in playing, getting crayons or chalk or Play-Doh or something in order to fulfill something in myself. So life really is that basic, and I'm grateful to have gone full circle. You know, it was a long journey, but, you know, not unlike the Wizard of Oz, you know, it's all in here. There is no place like home, and that home is here, and it's got a straight connection to the creator of our universe, and I'm just so grateful to know that. So some of my dreams I still have in my hopes. I would like to have my own little bakery. I love to bake. I always did, and I lost that over the years. I love sewing. I did a lot of music. I did a lot of performing, singing, and doing some local traveling, and maybe I would pull that back up. I'm not sure so much yet, but another thing I would love to do with the idea of what I've done with my home, and I think it's pretty cool. It would be a great Airbnb, but, you know, we'd have to go find another place to live. So, but you know what? The sky's the limit. When you have hope and faith, and you know that God's got your back and you can do this, with God, all things are possible. So I hope this finds you well today. I hope that it's a note of encouragement. I want to thank my 77 subscribers now that I have, and I hope you'll take a minute to sit down with me, have a cup of coffee or tea or whatever your beverage is, and, you know, let's talk. And even though I'm doing most of the talking, and one last thing I want to share, we never had alcohol in my home growing up, ever. My mother, and I say this with respect, was a dry drunk. She grew up in an extremely abusive home, extremely. Everything you can think of, that's what she experienced. And the little bit that she ever shared with me still weighs on my heart to this day. But her father also, in addition to everything else, was a drunk. And so we never had alcohol, and I don't blame her. My father, and they were separated when I was a baby, 18 months old. There was never alcohol. A lot of other dysfunctions I've grown up with all the way around, but there was never alcohol. And I would say in high school, I started going to school parties, friends' parties, and drinking, and before I knew it, I found myself in life, you know, having that glass of wine when I was cooking, and social drinking, and, you know, and I just look at it and I can't believe I ever had that in my life. So here I am going on 10 months of no alcohol, and I feel like I'm just have gotten back to who I was long ago, long before life happened. So, all right, well, if you like my channel, please hit like and subscribe. Again, I always hope I can be of encouragement to you, and you let me know about your journey, because you've got this. You've got this, and I'll see you soon.